Welcome to Postcolonial Space. I'm Masood Raja, and today I'll briefly talk about how to use some of the videos on my channel for preparing for UGC NET exam, University Grants Commission's exam, or any other exams that you might have to take to get into a university or for a job in India or Pakistan, especially. So I have one particular playlist on Terry Eagleton, which I have intentionally labeled as UGC Prep Playlist. Now, here are my reasons for it. First of all, what do I do in that playlist? In that playlist, I offer you chapter by chapter discussions of Terry Eagleton's Introduction to Literary Theory. Now, chances are that some of the questions on your exam will be related to literary theory, different schools of thought, structuralism, post-structuralism. And of course, you might have either learned or memorized some aspects of major theories. But I think what will serve you better, both in the written exam and in the interview, is a conceptual understanding of these things. Now, what Eagleton's book is really good about is that he doesn't just introduce concepts or give you, a tabulated list of what to do and what not to do. He gives you the philosophical discussion behind every theoretical school, the debates, the criticisms. So as you read the book, you are learning not just how a particular school of theory can be understood, but how it comes to be, who are the major theorists in it. So by following just this one playlist, what you will then get is the factual knowledge about different fields, right? Different fields of theory, different schools of theory, but also the debates around them. So if you watch pretty much every video in that playlist, when you come out at the end, and if you read the book alongside it, is a really clear understanding of how new criticism becomes new criticism, right? What are the challenges to it? How do we move from there to structuralism and post-structuralism? And I think that's really important in a written exam where you're not trying to give boilerplate answers, where you're trying to be unique and where you are trying to convince the examiners that you really know your stuff. The most important thing would not just be to reproduce bullet points, but to actually talk about the concepts. And I can promise you, if you watch these videos and read the book and practice a little bit, first of all, your understanding of literary theory will be enhanced, but also the way you answer questions about any school of theory will be highly developed and sophisticated. The second advantage would be that in an interview, if you're asked a question about theory or a question about different kinds of reading the text, different modes of reading the text, your answer won't just be a boilerplate answer. It will be an answer that comes from a place of knowing and understanding. And I have sat in interviews at both ends of the table, and I can assure you that it's not how confidently you put your stuff or, how articulate you are that matters, but what matters to interviewers is how do you explain things, right? After all, they're hiring you to be a teacher, or they're accepting you in a PhD program to eventually be a scholar and a teacher. And the best way of convincing anyone that you have the stuff that it takes is to give them a conceptual understanding of things, a way of explaining things that is expansive and that relies on a deeper understanding of the subject matter. So I highly recommend this to anyone who's taking an exam on theory or has an interview, or even some people have told me they have watched my videos before they went into their dissertation defense. So this one series on Terry Eagleton, and I'll post the link in the description, could be highly useful to you if you watch it from beginning to the end, and most importantly, read the book. So this is how at least one playlist on my channel could be useful to you for your UGC test, HEC test in Pakistan, Higher Education Commission, or just for a job interview related to humanities and literary studies. Now, if you want to explore further and further have a specialized knowledge, of course, I have playlists on postcolonial studies, I have a playlist on Paulo Freire, but for each one of those lists, I encourage you to watch them, take notes, and then read the books that either I'm using or I'm mentioning, and combined together, it will give you, in my opinion, and I hope so, a deeper understanding of concepts. And once you have the conceptual understanding and know a way of explaining it, then you don't need to memorize anything. You don't need to reproduce ipso facto something that you must have just jotted down or taken notes of. You can actually enable yourself to explain these concepts to any audiences. So that's what I wanted to share, the possibilities that do exist on this channel. Now, of course, if you would like me to record something else, something that is missing, something that could be useful to you, please do let me know specifically in the comments, and I will try my best to learn those materials and then record them for you. That's all. Thank you so much. Please take care of each other, be kind and generous, and I will now see you next time. Until then, peace and love.